Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Paranormal True Crimes. This is part two. Hope everybody's having a good Friday afternoon. Welcome, Standing Stones. Welcome, Crazy Witch. Welcome, 1423. Tess H. Welcome, everybody. So, we have Lois, we have Meg joining us.
Hello.
So, how are y'all doing?
We're
Good,
good.
thank
So, we are looking into the Nicola Bulley case is because there are a lot of things that was brought to my attention that people wanted us to look into because there are some questions that was arisen that were not adding up. And there were some red flags that were across the board and some questions that maybe something maybe probably did happen, but we weren't for sure. Hey, Luna, welcome to the show. FDL Paranormal, hello there. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. So, during the last show, I kept hearing this report about Fitbits. What was that about Fitbits?
They claimed that the motion of the water was replicating a heartbeat 8 days later after she disappeared. Now, I don't know if that's even feasible, but I don't know. I don't know whether motion of water could replicate a heartbeat.
It didn't
Now, didn't they say in UK the police said that they reconstructed their own test? Did they or did they not? And concluded that it did happen?
Yes, they did say that they'd run a test on the exact same Fitbit that Nicola was wearing, and they tested it with motion of water, and they claim that it can be replicated as a heartbeat.
And they did, and I called that BS. Did I or did I not?
Yes.
You did.
Because I used to own Fitbits. So, ladies and gentlemen, Exhibit A. Let me show you Exhibit A. Proof A. Exhibit A, ladies and gentlemen. Let me share my screen. And if you all do not know how a Fitbit works, we're going to educate you. And here's how a Fitbit actually works. So, how does my Fitbit device detect a heart rate? When your heart beats, your capillaries, okay, ladies and gentlemen, do I need to define a capillaries? If I will, I'll define that. They expand, okay, and contract. That is based on blood volume changes in your blood vessels. To determine your heart rate, the optical heart rate sensor in your Fitbit device flashes, and it's got green LEDs many times per second, uses light-sensitive photodiodes to detect these volume changes in the capillaries above your wrist. Then your device calculates how many times your heart beats per minute. Now, once again, it goes off your capillaries when they expand and contract. That means you have to be alive. All right, so now, just beyond a reasonable doubt, I read a little further, and it says we use green LEDs because it maximizes the signal to detect the capillaries near the surface of the skin. The optical heart rate sensor also uses infrared light to determine when the device is on your wrist to improve the accuracy of your heart data. Well, you know what? I was like, all right, you know what? I went a step farther, ladies and gentlemen. Exhibit B.
I called them, not once, but twice. Here we go.
My name is Mike. How may I help you today?
Hey, Mike. How you doing?
Everything is fine. I'm more than happy to help you. Tell me, how can I help you today?
Yeah, so I had Fitbits before in the past, and I got a couple of questions, and I know it's going to sound weird. How does a Fitbit monitor your heart rate?
Okay, in a moment, I'm going to provide the right answer. Okay. Okay, in a moment. Just to help you, may I have your name, please?
Chris?
Okay. Okay. So the heart rate normally the device has like some sensors on the back, so that is how they take it your heart rate. Okay. And in a moment, I'm going to give you more information right now.
And this is the technical department.
Okay. Yes. Yes, right. That's right. To determine your heart rate, the optical heart rate sensors. Yes. So the heart rate sensor of the Fitbit is like taking your heart rate. It's like the light that you see on the back. Some flashes in this screen, like you see on the back. So that is the sensor that is taking your heart rate.
Well, how does that pick it up, though? How does that measure your heart rate, though?
Okay, so you have a ticket up through. Okay, if sometimes it's not just with the sensor. Let me check here. Yes, just less, less from detected from the capillary to surface of the skin. Okay. Okay. Also, the optical heart rate sensor also use infrared light. So that is why if you have maybe a piece of paper on the back, because the infrared light is taking some information for your heart rate.
Oh, from the capillaries near the surface of the skin, you said?
Yeah, that's right.
So the water, if I'm in the water cannot make the heart rate beat then, right? It has to be blood flow.
Yes, sometimes when you go to swimming, the heart rate is not taking the heart rate, it's just taking the swimming. And sometimes it takes the heart rate, but sometimes it's like it's just not.
So what he just said there is if I go swimming, my heart rate's not going to be accurate.
It's not going to measure my heart rate because the water's moving.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not going to measure a heartbeat then, will it?
I say sometimes it take it, sometimes, but the most of the time it's not taking the heart rate.
No, but I'm saying if I'm dead, right, the water is not going to cause a heartbeat.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. Okay. So I have to be alive for the LEDs to pick up the capillaries to pick up the blood pressure in my skin, right? That's what measures the blood pressure to pick it up. So if I'm dead, from what you're saying, in the water's not going to replicate a heartbeat then, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. I didn't think the Fitbit, because the water ain't going to reproduce a heartbeat then, will it? Fitbit ain't going to pick that up.
Okay.
He's confused.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me understand right now. So you say that when while you're swimming is taking your heart rate?
No, I'm saying I'm dead. If I put a Fitbit on a stick and wrap it around a stick, it's not going to pick up a heartbeat, will it?
No, it's not going to take the heart rate. That's right.
Right. Now, if I'm dead and I put it on a dead body and throw it in the river, it's not going to pick up a heartbeat, will it? Because the water.
Yeah. No, it's not going to take the heart rate. That's right.
Yeah, so I wonder why somebody would say that.
Okay, so well, I don't know why the people said that while the death is taking your heart rate, it's not possible because of the state.
It is not possible.
So it's not taking anything there.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's actually picking up the changes in your capillaries, right, in your wrist.
Yes.
But you have to be alive for that to work, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So if you're not alive, it's not going to pick up a heart rate, whether there's water present or not, correct?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. That's all I need to know. I thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you to you. Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Fitbit.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. I called him twice just to make sure. And this guy was like, what the hell are you talking about? He was lost. Why are you talking about dead bodies? So that's why he was like,
But that's the strangest call he's ever had.
Yeah.
he probably didn't know what was going on. But point being, once again, ladies and gentlemen, now I'm back again. I think. There we go. But my point is that you all not were told the truth about the Fitbit. Because I said, if they actually replicate a test showing that Fitbit did actually produce a heartbeat, they would have a test proving that and a video showing you all that it did do that. I knew beyond a reasonable doubt that did not happen because I actually owned Fitbits in the past and I knew how they work. So I did refresh Standing Stones twice. So what does that now stand? What do y'all think now?
There's something not right about it because they have claimed that there was a heartbeat or something creating a heartbeat 8 days later. So when she disappeared, something was still registering 8 days later. So what is that? I don't know.
From the statistics, it could only be a heartbeat. Surely that's what we get from that.
According to Fitbit, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from Fitbit technical department, from two people I talked to, it had to be on a water will interfere with the with
It's crashed again.
Yeah.
a swift current, because it would get in between the sensor and not show you an accurate heartbeat per minute.
Yeah.
But it will not give you a false positive heartbeat.
No.
So, and I called that from the beginning. So that did not add up. So somebody is not telling the truth somewhere.
Yeah.
So once again, it's not adding up. So we called that out. Oh, that was validated. So it was very interesting. And can we go over the timeline real quick once again, if we could?
Yeah,
While bring everybody on.
From the beginning.
Yeah, just real quick.
Yeah. Okay. So 9:33. She goes. Oh, let me go from the very beginning. So she goes for a walk in the morning. Takes her dog with her. She met somebody along the way who was friendly with her, so they knew each other. They exchanged, pleasantries in the morning. At 8:33, the dog was running around off its lead. Nicola's phone and Willow, the dog, was found by the bench, and the harness of the lead was found halfway between the bench and the river. 10:50, Nicola's found in the schools, attended by children, and notified of her disappearance. And then a big search basically went on, involving the entire community looking for her. Now they've claimed that she's fallen into the river by accident.
Yep.
Oh, it keeps freezing.
I'm going to blame the weather.
It keeps freezing. No.
Are you done, or are you still going?
No, it just keeps freezing. The screen keeps freezing. So I don't know if you're talking or not talking.
Oh.
It's strange. So shall I carry on?
Yeah.
Should I just carry on talking?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I'll just carry on talking and hope that it's going through. Okay, so they basically done a massive search for her involving the community. They involved some local fire and rescue teams, some mountain rescue teams, and some underwater search specialist teams who were in the river looking for Nicola for quite some time. One of the specialists that were involved in that underwater search team did categorically say that she wasn't in the water. So, and he had quite a really high reputation doing what he does.
Yeah.
That whole lot of stuff went on, really. Police then told the media that Nicola was a very vulnerable person, graded as a high-risk missing person the day that she disappeared, owing to some significant issues with alcoholism. They put that out there publicly as well, which I don't know why that was relevant, really.
No.
They did say at the time, that it's not a criminal investigation. They're looking at it as a missing person, but they didn't believe at any point that there was any criminal activity involved or she had been a victim of any sort of crime. And that was about it, really. And then on the 19th of February, they found her from a tip-off by a member of the public. I would assume maybe a dog walker again in the same kind of vicinity. It was just bizarre.
All right, I'm back.
Are you back? I'm just carried on talking.
I don't know what's going on, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all can hear me or not.
I can hear you now, but it is like it keeps freezing. Are you back? Should I carry on talking?
See, I can't hear nothing.
You can't hear anything.
Stand by. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. I have no idea what's going on. Let me check my audio here.
Don't know if anybody can hear us, but if you wanted to add anything to that or not. It's a very strange one, isn't it? This particular one, because it's a very strange one, isn't it? I mean, it's the obviously the inquest has come out and it's given the details that it's given. And we're not saying that that's not true. It just the whole I think hype about the whole case has led to people having so many unanswered questions, and you know it's a very tragic story, whatever way you look at it. It's just devastating, and it's terrible. I feel so sorry for her family. It's horrible.
Either way, it is tragic, and I think a lot of people thought that as soon as the inquest happened, there'd be some sort of final closure.
Yeah,
but I believe a lot of people don't actually agree with that.
Well, you can't go anywhere, can you, on like social media or anything like that without seeing somebody who's got their own opinion on it.
Yeah, there is a lot of social media.
Everybody's entitled, obviously, to their own opinion, and that's fine. But I don't understand, if after an inquest has happened, that's closure, isn't it? It's like that's the last thing. But for some reason, it just keeps spiraling and spiraling.
Yeah, it's not sitting well with a lot of people, is it?
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't know the truth of what happened on that day. I just go by what the inquest has said, and that's there was just too many things, wasn't there? There was too many things as the story unfolded that could have been. Or it could have led to something, or it could have led to something different. But who knows? I don't know.
Exactly. Who knows? It just does not make sense.
No. I think if you were reading it in like a novel of some description, you'd already, as a reader myself, I think you would already be putting two and two together, maybe making seven. But
it would make a brilliant crime novel, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
you could make up your own minds, and it's real life.
All right, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is for entertainment purposes only. All parties are proven innocent until proven guilty in a court of law, and it is tragic. We don't know what happened. Did she drown? Yeah, she drowned. How she drowned? We don't know. The only thing we're trying to do is figure out what happened. Nobody knows. There's so many holes in the story. We don't know what's going on. So, are y'all ready to bring people on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, Science Bob. My internet usually is spot on, but lately, I know they're putting in fiber optic, so I guess that's what it is. First up on the screen is Kat. Come on down, Kat. Here we go. I see you smiling. Come on down. Here you go. Welcome, welcome.
Morning, everybody, or evening,
Hello.
wherever you are.
Hello.
Once again, I'm really sorry for all the loss and hurt that everyone's having. And this is a hypothetical from dowsing. I douse. My starting point this time was a photo of a lady. I call her Blue-Eyed Lady because I have no idea until just a second ago who she was, which kind of blows me out of touch. Anyway, here we go. I realized that it was a person that was misplaced. I found out she had passed over. She was taken against her will. She was forced and threatened, and it feels like she was scared for quite a few days. There appears to be two perpetrators. I've got one male, one female, and I'll get into their descriptions as I go down. The first time I saw the photo, I touched it, and the instant I did that, I got this terrible pain in my wrist, and a really, really hurt. I've no idea what that was, and could have been when she was grabbed, could have been when she was hanging for some time. I don't know, but it really hurt. Okay. I've got, she's no longer located on Earth, meaning, you know, her spirit's now in heaven, which is great. I've got the media seems to be heavily involved. The family seems to be assisting. It looks like she was missing or passed for more than 2 months. Female age, I got 30 to 40, around that age. Because I've got the photo, blonde, blue eyes, white skin. She looks to be about 5'5" to 6 foot. She was clothed at the time. She wore jewelry. Sorry, I'll catch you up in a sec. She had injuries, feelings, neck, body, and arms. There seems to be a phone involved and a tracking device. There's camera footage involved, and it was near the victim, but it's no longer near the victim. How? Seems to be hands. There was a vehicle of some type involved, but not at that time. It feels like she was grabbed. Was the vehicle used in her movement? No. Did the perps use a vehicle? Yes. What type of vehicle did the perps use? Air. How many were caused the injury? 2. How? Back to how again? Abducted initially, kind of, I'll explain as we go on. Prior intent. She seemed to have been carried at one stage, not far. The person, one of the perps, the female, seems to have a major appetite for death, likes doing what they're doing. Sorry, everybody. Full-on psychopath. It seems like the lady was drugged somehow, like, I'll get to that. The perps connected to, like, doused down. Seems like the perps are connected to a friend, and there's arms involved. Is the perp connected to a larger group? No. Are they international? No. Are there officials involved? No. Why did she become a target? Because she knew something she shouldn't have. It's to do with a lot of money, by the looks of this. There was no sort of transport from the time she was last sighted So I'm thinking walking. There's water involved. The victim appeared to be drugged by a chemical. So then I went down further. It'd be a fluid and a drink. So it's possible that someone gave her a drink bottle and it was already primed. There seems to be a pet involved. I've no idea about that. From what my calculations, she went southeast from where she was last sighted, and not far, like 0 to 5 k's, 10 k's, the first time. Then the second part, it seems like she went between 10 and 20 k's, but there's still no transport, no vehicle involved. Was she alive and breathing at that time? No. She had passed for quite a while by the looks of this. Location above ground, there was vegetation, rock and water, sorry, and mud involved. It seemed like there was, like, I don't know what it's like in England, but we call it Crown land. So the government owned the land where she kind of was found or put in the first part, and there was rural land involved. Then we get into access. It was easy access. It was planned. She was stalked, watched, and there's still, I believe, footage somewhere. The opportunity, lived close by to the place, regular visitor to a certain location. She seemed to be alone a lot. The motive appears to be money and psychopaths involved. The vehicle came up again, but not yet. There seems to be acreage to do with the perps. Okay, then I get down to the perp one. The perp one's a male. I had trouble with these two perps. I've never had this trouble before, but I think I know why as I go on. I couldn't get a hair colour for the male perp. I couldn't get eye colours for the male perp, but big, large black pupils, but no colour in the eyes. Possibly contact lenses. Not sure on this one. I've never had a problem with getting eye colours before. Then body build, about 6 foot. No skin colour again. So this was weird. Yet the perp one seems to have a lot of facial hair and bushy eyebrows. So it didn't make sense. I think the bloke was wearing some sort of one of those masks, to pretend to be bald, because not a hair, not a colour, nothing. I couldn't get any hair whatsoever. I think he was wearing one of those thick plastic mask things. He was clothed. The perp's vehicle, that somewhere along the line comes in an aeroplane, and I couldn't zone it down. It was not a normal plane or a jet, or not sure. Maybe it was a government type plane that I don't know the exact name for. Did the perps fly away? Yes. The female flew away. The colour and that of the vehicle, the plane, was kind of metallic. Okay. How did the perpetrator feel at the time? Mentally unstable, on some sort of drugs, angry. It appears to be a paid job for perp 1. The perp 2, this gets quite interesting as well. Perp 2 is a female, but doesn't feel like a normal type female, because I started having the same situation coming up here with I couldn't get eye colour again, couldn't get skin. This one's about 5'6", white skin, clothed, not known to the law. Neither of them are known to the law. The plane comes up again here for the female. How did this perpetrator feel at the time? Mentally unstable, angry. It was planned, and no feelings of regret whatsoever. Again, a paid job. It appears the female was the one in control. I had to zone in because I had no idea where this was. So I checked out all the countries, came up with the UK. Okay. Then it kind of got a bit sticky. So I went back and had another look. I started looking at the lady after I'd done all this. I found the lady was a resident of the UK. She seems to have been in the country more than 12 months. Were internationals involved in her demise? Yes. I was trying to figure out if the perps were like tourists, refugees, resident citizens. What I got was they were using tourist papers. So I don't know. They were using tourist type visas. The female, USA. The male, UK. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive, but in this I'm calling the lady Bluey just for now, because I don't know who she is or any of that, except for the photo that I got. Was Bluey known to the tourist? Yes. Are the perps still in the UK? One is, one's not. Have they done this before? One has, one hasn't. One hasn't returned to the USA, so she hasn't gone home, this female. She's just left the UK. Has the perp female done this before? Yes. Is she from USA? Yes. Better not say these things. There's contacts high up with a certain organisation. I tried to find out if it was a hit, but hit wasn't the right word, so I couldn't define that down further. It came up as no, not a hit. Did something go wrong in some sort of business they were attending to? Yes. Did Bluey know information she should not have known? Yes. Then I tried to figure where the lovely lady was from, and she appeared to be Scandinavian. There seemed to be connections with Sweden. Did Bluey have any indication she was a target? No. Yet she was upset for quite a while before this happened, is what I feel. I've asked what information does she have access to. I don't know if I should say this, Grizz. Will I say it or not?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. As long as it's not SA or...
No, none of that.
Okay.
Thank God. The information I found she had access to was like a mistake, was government, and it had to do with arms smuggling. Which government did she have info on? I'm probably going to get chopped shortly. USA. How'd she find out the info? Friends, and there's some sort of a lover involved. I don't know if the lover is the lover of the perp, what I call perp 1, the male, or if this perp 2 was trying to get onto this Bluey. I don't know the connection there, whose lover it is. The lover's female. Was a female perp in Sweden working for the... Yes. Is she a... Yes, she is one of those. Was perp 1 accidentally involved? No. Did perp 2 involve perp 1? Yes. Was perp 1 paid? Yes. Was perp 2 paid? Yes. Is corruption involved? Yes. Has the data been manipulated? Yes. Is the truth being hidden? Yes. So this is what I feel happened when I put all of this together. It feels like, hang on. Okay, I felt pain in my right wrist. Feels like she was grabbed by the wrist. It appears this lady's been found. 2 perpetrators, 1 male, 1 female. The leader is a female. Not quite, can't define the female in this because of the no facial hair, I couldn't get the eye colours. That's not clear. That needs more investigating. There's one assumption, but I'm not going to say it out loud. They appear to have taken her and moved her. Like someone, when you put the bottle of drink together, it feels like she was, I don't know, she met up with these two. It's possible they gave her this drink. They knew how long the drink was going to take effect. They went for a walk, and then the water and all of that comes up. I don't know if the wrist has got something to do with, she may have been like tied in a certain position for a while, but my wrist really, really hurt, like really hurt. There appears to be double movement from the time she was last sighted to the time she was found. I don't know where she was found or anything like that. There was water, mud, vegetation involved. She was deceased while she moved along, or grabbed. The pet comes up again. I don't know about that. The perps are working for someone else. They were paid. Perp 1 was coerced by the female. Female appears to be working for another country. The female had contact with the lady previously. Bluey had information about the smuggling, Sweden, USA. The perps were paid. There's corruption involved and data manipulated or changed. Appears to have been drugged via a drink, not one of those non-detectable drugs. One of those high up ones. Her body seems to be damaged post-mortem. The truth's being hidden, and there's, sorry to say this, but it's way too controversial diplomatically and ethically. I bless this lady and all the family and the poor pet, wherever that is. So that's what I came up with. Bit of a minefield. Hello. You back, Grizzy?
Yeah, I'm back. They're working on internet, I guess. So,
Yeah.
well, I'll put you backstage, and Greg is next. Thank you very much. Stand by.
Thanks,
All right, Craig, welcome. All right, what you come up with?
Hey, how are you?
Doing
Well,
good.
this is kind of all over the place. I wasn't aware of her name, but I got a lot of bullying, and that's kind of what came forth right away with her picture. So first, yes, there's mental illness. Yes, there's alcohol. Relationship not going well. I think there's prescription drugs as well that are being taken. I don't believe this was done in like Canada, where I'm from, or the States. I think it's out of country. So I guess UK area, that kind of idea. Do we know what job she did, or?
No, I don't. Not right offhand. No.
Okay. I keep going back to her job, wondering if that has anything to do with the situation. I don't think this was a suicide. I don't think this was planned. But a trip, a shove. So the rural area, water, river. I think a lot of people were a part of this search for her. And nothing in the beginning was found, or it wasn't a quick search. So it took 4 or 5 days, 6 days for her to be found. Again, I do see water. And I think she walked here a lot. I don't think this is her first time being in that area. Could maybe set your time, your clock to it. Her walking there. Okay, walk. Yeah. So, and again, I go back to her job. I don't know why I keep going back to her job, unless there is something to do with it. I think the police really fouled this up with speculation. I don't think they really knew what the hell they were doing with this. I think there were just too many inconsistencies to what they originally found and what they didn't find. I believe there is someone saw them there or saw her there. I believe she was a mother in a family setting. So I don't see self-harm or that being part of it. Worst case scenario, or if this is self-induced, this is a trip and fall, and maybe tangled up in water or in roots of the trees in the water, and cold. I would say very cold water. So I'm going to say walking path, or walking area where this took place. But I'm seeing big searching. So why are they? It's almost they're assuming something's happening here, and that means there's foul play. So that means, what did they find to make them come to that conclusion? Nobody walks into water, or at least guys don't walk into cold water. I don't see that happening. I don't, again, I'm still coming back to her job.
I'm trying to find out her job right now.
If you go ahead.
I'm trying to find out her job right now.
Okay.
Do you think this was an accident? Do you think this was what are you picking up on? Do you think this was an accident?
Can you say that again? You're breaking up.
Yeah. Do you think this was an accident?
We'll get there. We are. Are you there now?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I am seeing corporate. Sorry, there
Yeah,
you are.
she's in corporate. She's a
Okay.
mortgage broker for a private company.
Okay. So it's not a far fetch to say it's possible she stumbled onto something that may not have been along her lines of moral. If she was dealing with alcohol and drugs, and trying to better her life, you can see that moral compass maybe change a little. You wouldn't be part of the men's club, so to speak, if I can say it that way. I don't think the family is a part of this at all. They're, I think they're as shocked as everyone else was. I'm going to say I do see foul play. The foul play, I don't see bruises. I don't see choking. I don't see those kind of type marks or evidence, because they would obviously know right away if there was physical evidence of foul play. But they still could be being held or being held underwater. And this was a drowning, right? There are some things here that I think the police are holding back from saying or making public. I believe there are a few things they're holding on to. You did mention the Fitbit in the beginning of the show about them still having a heartbeat 9 days later. That's crazy, but I wonder if a current could manipulate our skin, and sort of how you put your hand in front of a faucet and you can feel, the water making pressure. Could that be a heartbeat? I do believe it all happened there. I see a child or children obviously being affected by this, and the family being affected by this. I think there's lots of speculation. So I don't know if I don't believe this can be an accident. I think there's more to this. Either held by the feet, I think almost a shoving motion into the water. There is a guy that I'm going to say beard and mustache, dark beard and mustache, 45 to 55. It's almost like someone's waiting for this to happen. I don't see any, I don't see the police having any particular person in mind. Again, I don't believe it's a husband. I don't believe it's family. I'm going to say security. Okay, I'm going to say she knew the person. But I do think there's more than one. Again, it'd be interesting to see the area that they found her and find out, kind of proximity of where she possibly could have went into and what else they may have found. Again, we're not part of the previous show. Nor do we're just given a picture. I'm going to say there's a dog. So did she walk this dog in this same place on almost a daily, weekly? I think she found peace of mind there. I know we keep breaking up here, Chris, but
yeah, they're working on the internet. I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen. But did you did you get everything in there for me? I do apologize, ladies and gentlemen.
I think I pretty much do.
Okay. If you want to stand by, Kelly Joe's up next. I greatly appreciate it, sir. Thank you very much. Sure. I'll bring you right back. Kelly Joe, welcome aboard. Hello, Kelly. Let's see if I can stay on. If I've not, you got it all. Well, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Kelly Joe. I'm a clairvoyant, psychic, medium, pet whisperer. I do a little bit of everything. What I saw with the picture, first I got follow the money. Then I saw a huge man, like 6'5", and black mustache and beard and hair. And I got that there was water and then there was dry land. I got an SUV. I got all this not as it seems. There's more to it than they think. They also said, I get that they watched her schedule and this was scheduled. So I get the people planned it. They scheduled it. Drown first and then put another place. SUV, a black, big, the bigger, like a Cadillac SUV type SUV. A bigger, yeah. I saw that. Only 5 miles from point of origin. I have no idea what that means, but that's what they're telling me. There is evidence, and they need to find the evidence, and there's physical proof somewhere of what happened. And now I lost my train of thought, doggone. Yeah, it's like she was one place and then she was another place. But there's like cover up, and also they're saying keep following that money. There's something about money.
Okay.
So, but I see at least one huge man, because he was like right in my face when I saw her picture. And he had like dark, almost, you know how people have black eyes and you can't see their iris? His eyes were pitch black.
Wow.
So, and it isn't just a simple thing. It was more. It's more of a homicide than just a conjecture. But if she feels like she was murdered, she was helped along with her drowning.
Okay. All right. Well, stand by and I'll bring you right back, Kelly. Thank you.
All right.
Lala, welcome to the show, Lala. Let's bring you back on. Lala, hello. How are you?
Good, thank you.
All right. Introduce yourself and tell everybody what you do.
I'm Lala, and I'm a psychic medium. I talk to spirits and other types of beings too. This was really layered, and some of it I wasn't even allowed to see, which is unusual. But I wrote down some notes. She showed me her walking out of a stone house and walking through a pretty like English garden, which is not what I'm ever used to seeing. So I knew it wasn't from the United States. She was wearing a nightgown and she was walking in a daze. So I feel whatever happened to her, she was still alive, and they moved her at night and she was very out of it. So a drug or a drink, like what they're saying. She showed me a bottle of water, a body of water right by her. There was a small or medium dog and something about time or a watch, she kept saying. She said the word lost horizon. And so I Googled it. And it's about a British diplomat who finds inner peace in Shangri-La. So British and government. And she said she was happy where she's at now. She's at peace. She said the name Paul 3 times. And he feels close to her. Maybe they've known each other about 10 years, give or take. But something feels off about him. It doesn't feel like, she didn't show that he was the one that did anything, but somehow he's connected to this, and it just doesn't feel right. She was very depressed before anything happened, and I feel like she was on medications to help her with things with her body and her mind, and I think they mixed in the wrong way sometimes, and maybe she was in a daze that way. And I feel like her boyfriend or husband, I feel like he was cheating, and something is connected with another person. So whatever this cheating is, it's the person he was cheating with, I feel it's connected somehow with a friend. So it was a man and woman I picked up, but I feel the woman was connected to her boyfriend or husband. And that's where everything got fuzzy. And I'm usually allowed to see things, but I wasn't allowed to see. So, and she just kept showing me her sad eyes. Just, she so desperately wants us to know, but I was cut off.
Okay.
That's what I got.
All right, no problem. Stand by. Tess or Ness, you're up next. Stand by, Lala, hold on. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hello, everybody.
All
I'm
right,
fine,
introduce
thanks.
yourself.
Yeah, it's a bit late over here. I think you've got Elaine back stage as well. She'll be late for her as well. But okay, I'll obviously I'm English, so in the UK, so I know some of this story. Do you know what I mean? Most of it.
Yes.
However, what I'm getting, as I'm a psychic medium, all right, we do paranormal investigations as well. My friend Elaine, I think you got backstage. She's one of my paranormal team, and I do platform mediumship with her. Right, what I'm getting is, all right, the person that she saw on that riverbank was not the last person that she did see. They think it was the last person that she saw before she went missing, and the phone was left on the bench. She didn't put that phone on the bench, somebody else did. Okay, that is what I'm getting. Now, what I'm finding quite serious is that no one has checked that poor dog. I feel that dog was kicked out the way on at least 2 occasions at the time. The dog should have been checked. That dog was very loyal. I don't know how people couldn't hear it barking. And the reason it was running around, it was because he was looking for her. Okay. So it's a bit late now because this happened way back, not in January. So it was very, very cold on that day. But she took that dog out regularly, and we know that. But that dog was never checked for any injuries or distress. All right. And it should have been. Whoever I'm getting probably male. Everything that Kath and the Canadian gentleman, they've been pretty spot on from what we know in the UK. I'm impressed. Okay, but I feel they waited this person until this other person she was speaking to, which she saw regularly, had gone. And I mean, some time for that person to go. If not, they'd have, because no one else was around, and they would have heard if there was any shrieks and cries and that. Now, I was getting that she was shoved up against a tree. Yeah, but they found nothing at the what's it called, the autopsy, to find any bruising or anything, but she was held up against a tree, and there was a lot of strong words. Yeah, I feel a lot of anxiety and fear from her, which is obvious, but you know, if she slipped, she'd have just a brief amount of that. But I'm getting a confrontation. Yeah. Spirit are telling me the word why. It's like in her head she was going, why is this, why are you doing this to me? I feel she kind of knew this person, but she didn't. Do you understand? There was something in passing that she did know this person, maybe from work, maybe from the neighborhood or something, but it wasn't a close friend. Not like she saw that dog walker every day and they'd come to know each other, just as, you know, how are the dogs, blah, blah, blah. You know the kind of thing. How was your Christmas, blah, blah. This person was just like a fleeting remembrance of or someone she doesn't know in her street, or you understand where I'm coming from. All right. Okay. Now, another thing that concerns me, I keep being shown a bag, like a crossover bag that you would wear, us women wear. I feel like my partner, I said to him, you don't know half the bags that I've got or use all the time. I think she had many. Yeah. And I think she had this bag. This bag's been taken. All right. So I don't know. I feel it's somewhere in the vicinity. I don't think the police have done a good job on this. That is what I'm being told by my guides. All right. Now, let me see. She did try to run. That's what I'm getting. Okay. But in doing that, yeah, the dog was in the way. right? I think this is when it was not kicked this time, but pushed.
Right.
I feel the dog might have tried to bite this person on their leg, on their ankles. Okay. So this person has got marks from the dog trying to protect his mistress, his owner. Okay. And then she was pushed in. That's what I felt. If she'd have slipped in, they should have seen slip marks on the bank. But I feel she was pushed in, so she went through the air and into the freezing cold water. That's what I am picking up on. And that's as far as I've got with spirit. Yeah. Other
Okay.
than the fear, the anxiety, and the why. Yeah.
Okay. Let me bring
Yeah.
everybody else back on. Stand
Yeah.
by. Now, my question is that, you know, one of the things that I looked at was that, you know, they didn't allow the person that sonar the river to testify with his video evidence because he didn't show the body in the river or creek or stream, or however you want to call it, because he did not find anything. So that was questionable on my end. So do you all think that the body was in there the whole time? I don't know.
No.
May I ask, what direction does the river flow from where?
It goes out to an estuary.
So, because I've got her going from, you know, like where she was first seated or, you know, resting, but she goes southeast. But then
you're totally right. You're right, because the river goes into the estuary, into the sea, and it goes south down into the North Sea.
And was she found further down? Which is kind of
she was only found a mile down. She was only found a mile downstream. Southeast.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, it does make total sense.
Because I couldn't figure out, like,
yeah,
I didn't know where she'd been found until a while ago.
Yeah.
You know, talking.
Yeah. The crazy thing is, our police are very, very wrong. She was found only a mile down coming into that estuary.
That makes sense.
Before it goes out to sea. All right. So the flow goes down in and into the estuary and then out into the North Sea.
Okay. That makes sense. Same with the mud as well, the vegetation.
Yes.
If she was caught up, like
that's right.
That makes a lot of sense.
And my other question is that, you know, the police allegedly said that they did tests on the Fitbit and they replicated the heartbeat, and I had Fitbit.
This I don't get. This I do not get.
But don't they go on the iCloud?
Fitbit twice. Well,
from a medical point of view, from a medical point of view, because I've done some medic training with the military and that, it's well known that if you're in freezing cold water, you can go into a stasis.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, she might have been like that for quite a while, and then, you know, the flow of the river or anything turned her on her front wise, and she would have drowned. So, but it wouldn't have gone on for 8 days. No way.
I think she was kept out of the water alive for a few days, and hurt for a while, and then they put her in after that, I think.
All right. Okay.
There might be a house close by where they took her and let her be for, you know, until, because I've got double movement and I haven't got from the, like, I know where she was with the southeast and it all seems to fit and all of that, and I can assume that the water then, you know, took her out to where they found her. But like you say, all of you, there's that gap of what, and like if those watches, if you're on the iCloud, if someone else is wearing it, won't it look like it's still active?
Oh yeah,
this is true. That is true.
It will. Yeah, but my question is, and now if somebody, we call it an autopsy over here, but
we call it
an inquest.
Autopsy too. Yeah,
is it now?
Well, they had the autopsy before the inquest. Okay.
Okay, so but wouldn't they test the water in the lungs compared to the water in the river to make sure it's the same water?
You think they would, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Because that would show if she drowned in the river or she drowned somewhere else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you go into the estuary, it would be brackish water, which is half salt, half fresh.
Right.
See?
Yeah. And in the river, it would be clear river
Fresh.
water.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I got the mud. Did you guys get mud?
I got that she was in the water and then out of the water. She was in two different places.
Something I did get.
Only within
Yeah.
5 miles of point of origin.
Yeah, they're not far.
Yeah.
That's what they kept telling me.
Yeah. What I was thinking as well, that they can check as many footprints as they like. It was January. There was an extreme amount of mud on the side of that riverbank. You know, she went there every morning. This other dog walker was around about the same time. This guy found her phone about, 2 hours later, sat on that bench. Yeah. So he was walking there. So, you know, but what about this person that was around? How are they going to distinguish between all of it and a wet riverbank in January? You know, they don't seem to have gone through all the prints.
Did you have a big storm or anything? Was there a sudden influx of water? Could she have been caught and stuck?
No.
Okay.
No. It was a decent January day, and you know, it was a crisp day. We had sun, and it had been like that.
It feels like
So
she was there.
It's a reasonable. It's a reasonable articulation to say.
Yes, it is.
If
Exactly.
she would have slipped and fell,
yes, exactly.
she would have clawed. She would have had, skid marks trying to get out of the river or the creek, trying to climb out.
Yeah, but none of them have been found.
Any photographs, right?
Yeah, exactly, Chris.
But
and
do
this
you
is
think,
what we don't understand. This is where I keep getting from being shown being pushed.
So,
I just don't know why. I just get being pushed.
I kept getting she was help drowned, so somebody helped her get drowned real good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. I don't know what the when I first went over the initial media reports and I went over the timeline with some people from the UK, and I was like, what do you mean they tested the Fitbit and they replicated the heartbeat? I was like, there's no way. Where's the video? Show me the video.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna call them because I had Fitbits years ago. I know how they work. And I was like, where's the claw marks and the footprints trying to get out of the creek? Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And why is there a cell phone and a dog leash laying there, first off? And I was like, what they were saying wasn't, and then, why is the boyfriend failing, all these body language tests?
Well, the husband,
these professionals, the husband, the partner, or however y'all call them over there, with these professionals in UK. And then now she's an alcoholic. And I was like, what would the talk screen say?
Right.
Talk screen said there was no alcohol in her system. So, okay, well, let's throw that out. Why are you trying to portray?
She was trying to rehab. She even had to cut it down at Christmas and everything. Yeah.
All right,
so we know that much.
And does anyone know, does the husband have hair, like real hair on his head?
He has, yes.
Okay.
What does everybody think? What are they saying about the husband? Do they think he did it?
Well, first of all, they were coming down very heavily upon him. Yeah. Right. But we weren't given the reason why. He was being hassled by the police very heavily. But it wasn't until the autopsy that, that there was no sign of bruising. There was no sign of alcohol. It was just water in her lungs. No sign of anything else. Yeah, that they put it down as an accident.
Did the husband have any sort of, or boyfriend or partner have any sort of money troubles?
Not that we've heard. Not a word's been said about that. She dropped her children to school. The dog was in the car when she dropped them. Then she went to the usual place where she used to take the dog. Yeah, because that time of year there's no well, around that area there's no sheep, there's no anything for the dog to worry him. It's a lively dog apparently, and she saw this same walker with their dog every morning, so the dog's got on. So that's probably why she took it off the leash, you see. But that was the last person that she saw, because this person came forward and said they had seen her.
I wonder if I'm wondering, because I picked up the tracking device. Sorry for interrupting there.
That's all right.
I picked up a tracking device. If the dog had the tracking device on the collar and the person that left the phone on the bench slipped the collar and lead off the dog, and that stops the tracking device from there, and tongue, 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 tongue.
Yeah.
Well,
the dog was looking everywhere for her. It was running up and down, up and round, everywhere looking for her.
Poor dog.
I have a question real quick.
Yeah.
Did they interview a female, like a friend of the family, but any female? Because I keep feeling a female.
Same.
We've had no word of that whatsoever. Nothing else came up in the inquest that I can remember reading. It's been pretty hell over here because the press have been making God knows what up, as they usually do. There's been stalkers from the internet checking round and going in people's gardens in her road and God knows what. So it's been a very confused load of wording everywhere.
Goodness.
Yeah. Unfortunately, we get these people and it doesn't help the situation that has occurred, you know.
And
I heard a lot of paranormal investigators were getting in trouble too over there.
They were exactly. And the problem with that is, you see, it doesn't help the very I would say lowbrow police investigations. I don't think they've done a good job here at all.
And does the husband work in some sort of corporate kind of thing?
She was.
How about the husband?
I can't remember what he does. Can you find out what Nicola Bulley's?
Yeah, I'll find out real quick.
Yeah.
I
just have to point out something. The lovely Canadian gentleman said the word bullying. Bully.
Yeah.
Her surname is Bulley.
Oh wow.
Neat. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
The minute we you know, we said blimey. So, you know, between Catherine's, I forgot what his name is. I wrote him down somewhere. That's absolutely spot on with the water and all of these things. And when he said bully, I said, no, there might be the guy might have bullied her, but her surname is Bulley.
Wow, that's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
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 How Craig got vetted when he joined the panel. I interviewed him, and he asked me to stand up, and I was like, "Why?" And I stood up, and he's like, "You were sick when you was a child," and I was like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "You got spots all over your lungs," and I do. I have white nose, and when I was sick when I was a child, and then he could see all that, and he was telling me. And that's how a lot of the people that are on the panel get vetted is, you know, we get interviewed and so forth and however not. But anyways, I'm finding out what the husband's doing right now. But what's really strange is that, you know, anybody else out there in the audience can help us out too. I'm asking people on the chat too, is that why would the police fabricate the Fitbit part? That's what got my goat right out of the gate. When they said that they replicated the test, I was like, there's no way, because if they did, where's the video evidence of that actually happening? because they would show that. They would show the evidence of that. Hey, you know, we got, because I was like, there's no way for 8 days that a body is going to replicate a heartbeat in the water. That's not feasible.
I've never
It's
understood
not
this.
physical possible.
Yeah.
Unless
came
the other
out
woman had it on.
last week. This came out last week, and we both went, excuse me?
And another thing,
But you know, the guy at Fitbit had a problem. He said, when I kept saying dead body, he was like, huh? What? He had a problem. He didn't know. And I know he was waving somebody down like, hey, I got a nut on the phone. So, you know, yeah. So,
my partner's just found something out. So apparently, and I forgot this piece of info, guys. I know I'm giving info away. She was in a Teams conference call for her work half an hour before this phone was found.
yes,
Which is
that is
very
correct.
convenient,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know, if you're linking the dots with information, security and data and all of that, the watch, the phone, and possibly the tracking device are all connected onto that one thing. So
That's
whoever's
right.
got control over that can just wipe the whole thing out. But may I ask, Lola, this woman that you're picking up, does it feel like I don't know how to say this, but a real woman? Like genetically...
Okay, I get it. I don't feel that. It might be the case, but they just show me pictures, so it's not really a feeling. It's a photo that they show me.
Yeah.
But it's not like a gorgeous supermodel. It's not like a very voluptuous. It's just
no feeling, like
right.
Like a mechanical feeling. Like I couldn't get any fur, or like I'm covered in fur, you know, like I couldn't get hair, I couldn't get eye colors. I haven't struck that before.
It was weird. Like I said, they cut me off after a while and I couldn't see anything. And that's very unusual.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that happened at all.
I got stuck as well. Then I got back to the bloke because I totally got stuck with the female. So then I went back to the bloke to see if he had the same kind of traits. But he didn't. To me, he had some sort of, you know, those big, thick plastic masks to make you pretend that you're bald. But he was covered in fur. And I'm thinking, well, how can he be like nothing? Nothing. Yeah, but really quite furry and bushy eyebrows and kind of a smart ass. Sorry for swearing.
Could have been a cap or a hat that was skin color, maybe. I don't know.
No, I don't know either. But I haven't struck that before. Like you know those really good ones that there's no idea.
Oh,
you can tell.
Yeah.
What's that, Lala?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Something odd. And if they had no eye color, then if they had contacts, then it wouldn't come up a direct, clear hit in color because it'd be constantly changing. Because, you know, when I'm dousing, it's only for that moment in time. Yeah. So that makes sense as well. Like, I think they were into disguises.
Right.
Or the male was.
It's like
did anyone get the feeling that she knew him, but she didn't? Do you understand what I mean? Like an acquaintance. Yeah.
And kind of shocked at first, trying to figure out, do I know this person?
Yeah,
but I think, then she saw the woman, and I think she thought, I know you as well. And then all of a sudden it happened. It was too quick. It felt like that the woman gave her a bottle of drink, a water bottle or something, and she drank it. And they seemed to know how long it was going to take before whatever was in that water was going to react. And whatever they put in that water was undetectable. And I think that if she was on other medical medicines before that, it felt to me she was scared shitless about 2 weeks before this happened. And that's what was stirring her all up. And that's why she was possibly medicated with, you know, prescription stuff. I don't know. That's I'm assuming.
I agree.
I mean, there's a lot of good picking up here, you know, but considering you aren't in the UK and we know a lot of the stuff. I mean, my partner has just said the police did nothing about it to the next day, which is about typical of how it
So
is
then
over
you've got
here
a
at the
gap of
moment.
24 hours.
They wouldn't search her to the next day.
Where was the dog in this time? Between the
dog,
time
the dog was running up and down, up and down, up and down. It was only the guy who came along about nearly 2 hours later who saw the phone, and picked up the dog. Not took it away, but calmed the dog. The dog had been running up and down all that time looking for her.
If she was close, the dog would have found her.
Yeah, well, exactly.
There's a part of time where she's kind of misplaced, but if she was in the water and tangled up, and just in the water, under the water, possibly, like there seems to be a time gap of when she actually went down, but it seems like she was kind of hanging on to the edge or something for a long time, not hanging on, but trapped or cuffed onto a pipe or something for a while. I don't know.
Maybe a tree root. There's there's a few trees along there. I keep getting
Possibly,
these trees.
but my hand really hurt around the wrist, like someone either grabbed me super hard or I was connected to something that was tugging. It really hurt.
Why can't they see this? Why didn't they see this at the autopsy?
I think they're covering up for people. I think there's higher ups involved, and they're telling the police to shut up. Yeah.
Yep, same here.
And they blundered. They totally
and because
blundered.
there's international ties and with the situation politically all over the world at the moment, I reckon this is part of that.
The body was missing for 23 days. Yeah, the body was missing for 23 days. Yeah, 23 days till she was found.
And do you know, did the husband or anyone get a sudden increase in their bank accounts or shares or land ownership or?
Not that we've heard of, unless they're just not going to put out that info.
Well, maybe it's, so well hidden. If these guys are at the standard I think they're at, then it'd be easily hidden. But what's the husband like now? I've seen no footage or anything. Is he happy? Is he sad? Is he any emotion?
Well, apparently they're extremely sad. They didn't even turn up to the inquest. They couldn't bring themselves to go to the inquest. There's 2 young girls, that she dropped at school, and that's as far as we know. They didn't turn up to the inquest, and they wanted everyone to leave them alone because, as I said, the press have been their usual selves. The British press take no prisoners. They're absolutely awful.
Except for Julian.
On the case, what was the 14, ma'am? What was the number 14?
The number 14.
It's over and over and over. It's very important.
Is it? All right. I wonder. We'll have to try and find out, won't we? What was the date of her going, Andy? Can you find out? See if.
What's her name? Her full name? I'll look at.
Nicola Bulley.
Okay, thank you.
Is there a 14? Like, I've got it going southeast along that track, and I keep getting a flash. I keep getting a flash of some old house. Is there a 14 somewhere there near where I've got her about, say, I don't know, about a mile going southwest on this path or whatever it was where she ended up.
Yeah.
Are there any old houses behind that path? A lot of bush, like big garden?
But now, wasn't there a shed that was in question, Ness?
Yeah. I'm not quite sure on the actual area. It's up north. It's in Lancashire. It's near Preston.
I don't mean where she was found. I mean southeast down the path.
Oh, down there.
About a mile down the road.
It's pretty barren down there. It's St Michael's on Wyre, where she lived. And where she, it's a small, I wouldn't say village, small town. So she's not right in near Preston. It's way out.
Yeah, so it's rural.
Yeah, Lancashire. But when you come down to the estuary, She was only a mile down. She hadn't made it all the way out. If she'd have made it to that estuary, she'd have ended up in the North Sea eventually.
Yeah, he never would have found her.
No.
That's why I think I reckon
It's very
got
much of flatlands. Do you know flatlands that we have over here? Yeah.
Like I
But see,
reckon
I
if she
don't-
was southeast from where, like the park bench or wherever she was, if she walked down, if the two perps walked down with her, say about a mile or something, and if the bottle had been drugged with the water, then they would have known how long that was going to take to react, and that would have pretty much put her about that distance from where she was first seen. But then to get from where a mile up the path, then there's a time delay. Like you say, there's that 8 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Then she gets swept up to that far, and magically she's found in 8 days.
Yeah.
Well, if you looked at the area view on the last show, when I showed the video, how the S curves and the shallows
I didn't see any of that.
of the river or whatever.
Right, hold on. We've got
I
a
don't
14.
see how. I don't see how her body could have made it through all the turns.
Right.
Now that's just, and now that's just from prior law enforcement. Now I'm not a MD, forensic science, or anything like that, without being snagged or caught on something, because there's a couple of turns on that river that were very shallow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that didn't make any sense to me. So I don't know how that would travel.
That knocks me out then.
Yeah. Right, on the 14.
Ness, do you have any ideas on that part?
Well, it was winter. So I'm very surprised it was quite shallow, because it's quite, in this country, usually our rivers, and we have a lot of rain. We had a lot of rain this winter, are quite high.
Are there any of those traps that are controlled, that
Not
they
in that
release
area.
water?
Not in that area. You mean the locks? That'll be a canal.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it wasn't a canal. It was just the River Wyre. But the 14, apparently there were 14 revelations brought out in the inquest.
Oh, okay. Because they were just kept telling me 14.
Yeah.
Over and over.
Wonder what number 14 was of the
That's
revelation.
I don't know.
14 revelations
about her death. So
her
mental state of mind and this, and quite a few. I think when we've all finished, you need to do a bit of googling, and me too. And we can see.
Sorry, about the guy that found the phone.
Yes.
Did he get checked out? Did he walk there a lot? Did he have a female with him? Like.
He walked there regularly. He walked there regularly. Yeah, apparently. But he's been cleared. He hardly ever spoke to her. Just used to say good morning.
Okay.
Also, dog walkers. So
and
it's a very popular spot for taking the dogs. So that they can run without any problems.
Okay.
So like farm animals or running into roads and all this kind of thing. So he's the one who saw the harness, and he's the one who found the phone and thought, this is very, very strange indeed.
Okay.
And he's the one who reported it.
How long did it take between him finding the lead and the phone to actually
nearly 2 hours, wasn't it?
So there was 2 hours unaccounted for.
It was 30 minutes between the phone call or the conference call and finding the phone.
Right, there was 30 minutes between her conference call to work and finding the phone. I do apologise.
And then when did the phone and the lead actually get to the police?
I have no idea on that one. I don't know how quick they came out, because they're bloody useless, excuse my French.
So there's a time gap there that anything could happen to the phone.
Yeah, anything could have happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
because nothing's got done quickly in this country with the police force these days, which is not good enough.
Wow.
So whether did they take him seriously immediately? Yeah, maybe not. But eventually they had to, because then the police would have then found out there's
And
the
with
dog
the-
running loose. There's a dog running loose. Where's the owner? It took them,
Were there any blips on that watch where there was a gap, or it was constantly recording? You don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah.
They just said it was constant. They were still getting a heartbeat 8 days later. This I do
8
not
days
understand.
later.
And another thing I've read, if they need to check the heartbeat, because if another person is wearing it, the heartbeat won't match the heartbeat of her.
Right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, different
there's-
heart. Well, it could be
yeah.
a different heart rate, but that could have been for any reason. They need to check that, don't they? They need to
The
check
wa-
the history.
The water in the lungs,
Yeah.
that's really,
Yeah.
primary. So, but
Yeah.
just
If-
a lot of things just don't add up.
No,
So-
Are there any
exactly,
injuries?
because you don't get water in your lungs unless you were alive at the time, because
Right.
you
Yeah.
ingest.
Right.
But if you're dumped later, you are not going to get that water in the lungs because you've just
Yeah.
been dumped.
Yeah.
Do you know? So
Right.
it just doesn't add up in between.
Yeah,
And
there's
on the
a lot of
autopsy-
inconsistency. That's for sure. Go ahead, Kat.
Sorry, my head fills with questions all the time. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah.
With the, I've just lost it. Oh, sorry, I just lost it.
I do that all the
It's all
time.
right, it'll come back to you. It'll come back. These
Yeah.
things always do.
I've forgotten. Sorry, I blanked out.
This was a good case. Unfortunately, I don't really think it'll ever be solved, because I think there's money involved and higher up people.
Right.
But it is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because they seem to have just been happy with the autopsy. The coroner has put it down as accidental.
Well, on the autopsy,
I'm not convinced.
have you guys seen the autopsy?
I'm not.
Anyone seen the autopsy yet?
Yeah, well, the autopsy says there's no sign of bruising, breakage anywhere, no ripped clothing that was found, water in the lungs, which
See, she
they
was in the
and
river.
contestants drowning.
If she was in the river, she would have got dinged up.
Right.
Like I've got, she was dinged up, in legs, arms, and kind of around the body, post-mortem. And then I've got this really bad thing that happened instantly.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you get nothing on the autopsy if she's been traveling in water and been dinged up? I mean, even if you were there for a day, a log could come along and hit you. You're going to get a bruise.
And the
Yeah,
animal.
well,
taken
this is
after.
what I don't understand. I mean, I feel she was pushed up against that tree, but obviously it didn't leave any bruising or anything. But my partner said, why can't they see anything from a filament or whatever? And I said, the only problem is she's been in water.
Yeah, so
Water
she's been
destroys
cleaned.
stuff.
She's effectively been cleaned. If she was left in that water for nearly 8 days, there'd be no nails.
Right.
All
Right.
the DNA would be gone.
Well,
Yeah.
her decomposing body would show evidence of her being in water, even though it's being cold, the water temperature being that cold. But the problem though is the clothing that she wore that day, from the video surveillance, from her loading up the dog and so forth, would make her body buoyancy in the river. Her body
Yes.
wouldn't sink. Her body would float.
Exactly.
And
Yeah,
the problem
she
that
had
I
a buffer.
have,
She had a puffer coat on.
right, and the problem that I have that's questionable, not only with the Fitbit, is that why won't they let the guy, with his reputation with the sonar, show his evidence with his recording that he swept that whole entire area that showed there was not a body, because the channel's not very wide, ladies and gentlemen.
No, it
It's
isn't.
not.
No.
You can throw a rock from one side to
Yeah.
another. So
Oh,
his
wow.
sonar swept from corner to corner and showed that there. So, and this is, and let me show you what a body looks like on in a channel. And I'll bring this up. And I did this on the last show. Let's see here. Body on sonar. This way people knows, because I did this on the first show, what it looks like when you're actually looking for a body.
Does the lady have any connections to Sweden or Switzerland? Possibly via work or?
I don't know. She worked for a big mortgage broker, which could be links with any country in Europe if people were buying properties.
Now, this is a body that's not on the bottom of the ground. This is a body that's floating, and it's still you can tell it's a body.
Yeah.
Now, if this was against the bank or underneath the brush, this would still show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so this is what I'm saying. This will show up on the sonar.
But if they're as good as what I think they are with technology, they could easily substitute that.
Like dogs, drones, helicopters,
And here's another picture of a sonar as well that I'll bring up to show you a different angle.
My partner's saying they had dogs looking for her, police, drones, and even these members of the Buckland couldn't find her.
And I've got she was uplifted and carried.
And
So
this is another picture of a sonar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know it's a body.
See, if she was uplifted and taken out of that region and then put further up,
Right.
Yeah.
the road, then that would make sense.
Yes.
I agree.
Well, you're right, Kath. I was getting two places too.
Yeah, same. And I got uplifting, but no vehicles involved,
Right.
except for when the perp took off in the plane. So that kind of makes sense. So, and the vehicle. See, I didn't do that part where you guys are picking up the vehicle. That could be the vehicle, especially the way you're describing it gives me the creeps straight off. The black vehicle.
Yeah.
If that's all one of those high-tech vehicles, you know, like one of those high-tech vehicles, they could have picked her up in that vehicle from the part down the bottom there where I think she went southeast. And then I've got uplifted, carried. So if she was put into the black vehicle, taken somewhere quiet and hidden for 7 days or something, or 8 days, and then the watch would be working, and then plonked her in. Sorry, I really feel bad, lady. I don't mean to be so cruel. I'm in business mode. But if they then put her further up, near where she was found, then that would make sense with the body not decomposing, the watch working, all of that. So there's somewhere she was for that amount of time. I think. Yeah, Lauren.
So there was a shed somewhere in question on the first show. I don't know what it was, but somebody said something about a shed. I don't know if it was in the news media or a report or something that they went and investigated.
Just got to get the charger.
But the thing is that there were so many people out there looking, and if there was any trace evidence or anything like that, it was ruined.
Well, exactly. That's what I said about the feet. In that area, they wouldn't have got a conclusive footprint because of there was people coming and going in the days before, and people got afterwards because they just couldn't keep out of it. Do you know?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's a huge problem for the forensics. Absolutely.
Lala, do all you guys animal talk? What if we talk to the dog?
Yeah.
We can try. Let's try.
Okay. I can't do it right at this
All
minute,
right,
but
I'm
I'll
gonna
work
close
on it.
my eyes too.
Okay.
As I said, that poor dog did get kicked. It got shoved, it got kicked, and that dog was not checked.
When I first got the sore
I can
wrist,
feel that quite strongly.
yeah. Maybe Papa Dog can tell us what's happened.
Is there a photo of the dog that we can have?
I'll try and find. Do we have a? I think it's a brown dog.
We'll
I'm
have
not
to ask
sure if
permission.
it's what we call a staffy over here. Andy's going to
Okay.
try and find you one. Can you hold on a moment while Andy looks?
Yeah.
Yeah, no hurry. Like we can get it whenever.
Yeah.
We have dogs over here called staffies, and that's the picture I was getting, and I want to see if he comes up with my same picture from my head. Yeah. I saw a brown dog that looks like a staffy. I might be wrong. I might have been influenced by something on the television that's gone into my psyche and my memory. Do you understand where I'm coming from? This is the problem when you actually live here and you see things all the time.
And
What is
like
it?
the pet's important. I kept getting the pet kept coming up all the time. I didn't know, like, but
Yeah.
it just kept coming. Well, maybe we can find out this
Aaron,
way.
I got a
Andy's
picture of the
looking for a
dog.
picture now because there
I
are.
got it.
He's got a
I got
picture.
it.
Hold on. Can
Okay.
you bring it here? No, don't send it to me. Can you bring it here so I can show on
This is
camera?
the picture. I got the picture right here.
You've got it. You've got it. Okay, Chris.
Can you
There he
send
is.
it? Oh,
Oh,
darling.
that's
the
a
dog. Wow.
What kind of
that's
collars he
a
got on?
sheepdog, brown sheepdog, sort of sheepdog cross.
Looks like.
It might be a what they called
See that disc
Springer
the dog's
Spaniel.
got on?
Springer Spaniel. Sorry, it's a
Yeah,
Springer
looks like
Spaniel.
a Springer Spaniel, yeah.
Yeah,
See
and this
the
is her
disc?
partner. Can you see?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He's got hair, and he's got a beard.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
He's trying to
Brizzy, can
zoom
you
it
send
for
that
us.
to us,
There, he's
please?
zooming
Well,
it for you.
I
There
can,
you go. Can you see all right? Tell me if you can. There he is.
yeah. He had nothing
Wow.
to do with it.
Okay.
But the dog is saying there's two people,
Yeah.
and he goes, 1 minute the lady is standing next to me. My lady is with me. He calls her my lady. My lady's with me, and the next minute she's in the river, and I'm trying to get her. And
That makes sense.
and she says she went up and down 3 times. She went up and down 3 times. And then I couldn't see her anymore, but I could feel her floating. She goes, I was running to get to the end, running to get to the end. That's what I hear the dog saying.
Wow.
Yeah, the dog kept running up and down, up and down, up and down. It was poor thing, you know.
You know, and he was trying to get someone to help to let them know that she was in the river.
Did he feel that he had been kicked at any
Yes,
time?
the man kicked him.
Thank
The
you.
man kicked him in the belly up underneath hard with
Thank you.
boots, and then kicked him in the ribs. And if they would have checked the dog out,
Yeah, they should have.
the 3 ribs right in the middle. You can't see me point, but
Right. Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah,
right in the
yeah.
middle of the ribs where the dog's ribs is, he was kicked right there in those 3 ribs.
Yeah, it's a shame
And
the dog
kicked
wasn't
on the
checked.
underbelly.
Yeah. It's a shame the dog wasn't checked for injury, you know,
And was
because
the dog?
I feel it's totally been put out the picture, but it would have been logical to me to check an animal for injury in case there was any involvement. You understand?
And they could have gotten DNA
Oh, blood.
out of this. He bit
Yeah.
the man. He bit the man. He bit the man.
I
bit
feel.
the
Thank
man.
you.
I bit
I
the man.
felt biting. He bit his
Yeah.
ankle. He bit his
They
leg.
could have got the DNA from his mouth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Lala. Go ahead. I didn't mean to jump ahead.
Me?
Yeah, Lala. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're fine. I'm just looking at the dog's eye. I read eyes, so I was just looking at the dog's eyes, and it's very sad. It really is.
And he's mourning her.
Yeah, very much. Very loyal dog. I mean, you know, I was getting running up and down, looking for her.
Well, he was
You
trying
know?
to help her.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, after he was kicked, he was in pain. You know,
Yes.
but that didn't stop him running up and down, you know.
Now, where is the dog now?
Back with the family.
Oh, good.
Yeah. But what I don't understand is why that dog was not taken to a vet. You call them veterinarian, we call them vets, you know, we shorten it.
Right.
Why wasn't he taken to a veterinarian just in case, you know, there was evidence of injury that would have meant that there was a perpetrator?
This
you know,
was all definitely premeditated. I feel it was a
100%.
setup, definitely.
Same.
Yeah.
I mean, I know for a fact that a vet, if an animal is kicked, the vet can find out, because our cat was kicked, okay, and the vet knew the whole area where he'd been kicked and his tail dislocated. Poor thing. We won't go there.
Oh, wow.
But this dog, if they'd have done the same, they'd have seen, you know.
The dog's traumatized.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
Yeah. It's you know.
Bye, puppy. I can't do it anymore. Thanks.
Yeah. No.
Too
You know, you're spot on, Kelly. This is from what I said from the beginning, that's what the feelings I was getting from this poor dog. You know, I know that dog was kicked. I know it.
And
you know, my guides are telling me don't give up on that. Do you understand?
Yes.
When they're trying to? We all know, we're all mediums. We understand when we're being given info, you know. I mean, I'm extremely tired, so spirit are really giving me all of this.
Right. Yeah, I know it's late over there, but I
It's 1
appreciate
o'clock in the
everybody's
morning.
time. Right.
It's 1 o'clock in the
5
morning,
hours.
guys. Yeah.
But I appreciate everybody's time. You know, when they asked me to look into this, you know, I looked at, you know, the inquest, which I don't have access to, you know, like I do over here, the autopsy reports, the police reports, and so forth. But when I start looking into this, it's just, you know, looking at the T's weren't crossed, the I's weren't dotted. It just things were not lining up. And there was just a lot of questions.
Open-ended.
It was. And then the Fitbit part, when they said we replicated the heartbeat, I'm like, oh, come on.
Quite, Chris. I totally agree. I mean, I only heard this a couple of less than a week ago, and I'm thinking, what? You know, where is this coming from? Apart from if she was elsewhere, but this does not solve why she had water in her lungs. That only occurs if you're struggling.
Right. And the black vehicle you're talking about, and the IT level, which is very high, makes sense. Well, how come there's no footage? Not many cameras around those little pathways?
No, it's right out in the sticks, at the side of the town village. I mean, it's the same here. If I go slightly down the road, if I go that way, I fall in the sea. If I go that way, I'm out on the flatlands, the marshes. We call them marshes. You see?
Yeah, I get it.
And this was like marshland by the river.
Yeah.
You know, like not particularly farmland either. If it would be used for grazing, if anything, nothing else. Yeah. Because it's so close to the estuary going down that way. You know, so it's a very flat, wet, muddy area, unless, you know, we had a blazing June, so it's probably well dried out at the moment. Yeah. But you know, in January, she must have had boots on. That would have weighed her down for a start, walking boots. She wouldn't have gone down there in ordinary shoes. No way. She must have had walking boots on.
Galoshes.
But that big jacket, they float, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
What are they made out of?
The clothes she had, she would have been a bobber.
Yeah.
It's like a polyester nylon cover, isn't it? Filled with that quilting, you know, polyester quilting that we have in our quilts over here anyhow.
Yeah.
You know, so the air pockets, you were totally correct.
I have a question real quick. I Googled female and Nicola, or however you say her name, I'm sorry. And and so on Google, she had a friend who's got BBC connections, and I was wondering if you guys could see the face. Can you see it?
No.
Not yet.
Her name's
Not
Emma.
yet.
If you can look it up, her name's Emma. I think
Emma.
it's. I don't know what the
Someone
last
with
name is.
BBC Connections, a friend, Andy. Emma, somebody?
Emma White. Emma White.
Emma
Look at her
White.
face and see what you guys think, because I just
Right.
something feels wrong. I'm sorry.
All right, hold on a minute. He's busy sorting our kitchen out because it's extremely late.
And let me show you what she was wearing real quick, and I'll try to pull
It was
that
a
up.
brown puffer jacket.
Here's what she was wearing.
Sorry, Lila, there's a delay.
Oh, she had the blue one on. Okay.
Even if it was down and got really heavy, the outside would keep it up.
Right. It would be, yeah.
Whoa! What's this vehicle here? Is that a black?
That's hers. Yeah.
That's hers.
That's a
hers.
black.
That's not black.
Isn't it?
No.
It's
Okay.
blue.
Blue,
It
like a
might be
midnight
black.
blue, or I don't know. Yeah.
Mm. Emma
So,
White, BBC.
That was the last picture of her. All right, what am I looking up? BBC, Emma?
I'm doing it now. Emma White, BBC.
Emma White.
BBC stands for British Broadcasting Service. Corporation, sorry.
Thank you.
Right, okay. The only one I'm finding straight away is Emma White, researcher, BBC, Belfast metropolitan area. That's Northern Ireland.
Is she a blonde girl?
Yeah.
Here, let me
She's
just
on
share my
LinkedIn.
screen. And
Maybe
y'all
my
just
Google.
She be about 5'6".
here, let me just show you my screen. Y'all can just tell me which one, and I'll just point it out. All right.
Okay. Right.
Put Nicola Bulley and then Emma White.
Okay.
That
That's
might
what
pop
she
up.
looks like in a video. Look, can you see?
Yeah, that's her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does anybody feel anything from that?
Not enough time for me.
There she is. That's her.
Oh yeah, I seen her during one of the videos, one of the interviews. Yes.
She's an investigator. She's okay.
She's saying,
Is that what
these
she
poor
was?
girls asking questions. Where's mummy?
Okay.
I gotta
Yeah, I
look.
remember.
I'll look into that.
She might do like a program later on after it goes on a little ways for her.
Yeah, she was talking. Yeah, I remember seeing a couple of news stories with her in it.
The dog's called Willow.
It says she's friends with. That says those two were friends on
Yeah.
Google.
Sorry, what was Puppy's name?
There's somebody on here saying the dog's called Willow. Yeah. The caravan. There's a caravan park close, and there is cover of trees all the way from the river to the bench.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a caravan park there. Sometimes people live there all year round. You know, if it's close, they could have been watching. Who knows?
Maybe that's where they put her for the 8 days.
Maybe because you know, empty vans for the season or not, you're very close. I mean, that looks like a shed, doesn't it? A caravan.
Yeah, and it's metal too, metallic. Like
Exactly. Yeah.
Because with the transport, it didn't make sense, except for the plane being metallic and taking off. But in the interim area, it didn't make sense. But a van doesn't move, does it?
No, they're permanent. Well, not permanent, but they're hot. They have to be moved by whacking great trucks. We see them
Yeah,
here all
yeah.
the time. There's one
Yeah.
up the road from us because I'm by the beach. Yeah, there's one up there. Yeah, and there's another one down Coast Road. The others are just for camping people, you know, with the RVs and that. But they've had to have whacking great vehicles to bring those vans in.
Yeah.
You know, because they've got, some of them have got 3 bedrooms in them. You know, so.
Yeah, there's a gap in all of this for me.
That's right.
But it
So,
seems. Sorry.
Just hopefully, you know, some of this information can help somebody out, and you know, who knows? So, but it just doesn't add up. That's just the point we're trying to make. It just
nobody finished with Lala seeing what she got on the dog.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look at the eyes a little more. I just kept seeing a man have something to cover, like to kind of hold her. So maybe a blanket, I don't know, but not a blanket, but to restrain her body while she's alive. And I didn't see that before.
Okay. As I said, now I've seen this thing, this word caravan park. I have big suspicions now. Now that this shed keeps coming up, yes, it's one big shed. Let's just face it.
And metallic. That's metallic.
Not a lot of people around at that time of year. I mean, on our parks, there's only a couple of people who are permanent on a lot of them.
And
you
also
know?
the carrying. She was uplifted, carried.
Right.
So if she was, because at first, you know, the uplifting, I've got to be careful because of all the American cases and that we do. So there's lots of variations. So then I said like carried, and yes, she was like uplifted and carried. You know, like there's 2 parts because there's a gap of energy, like, you know, if you're tracking along on the string or whatever you like to call it, then all of a sudden you get this gap. The same as what Lala was saying about she got stopped. So it's similar thing. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Why does that happen to us? I don't understand. That's new to me.
Possibly because there are stronger strings interfering.
Okay.
I'm no good at physics. We've got a big rave coming up soon about all of this because I've been ticking over this whole week about an incident, and I've been trying to put everything together as well. And with the strings, you may have tandem strings, and then they will go like this, and there'll be a force in the middle, and then that disrupts like a lineal type string.
Okay.
This is why I need a physics. He's coming on with me after next show, but to try and explain all of this to me, so that, because I have that problem too, Lala. You'll be going along and then all of a sudden, cut. Yeah, it's almost like someone has said, nope, that's it. Get off this string.
Yeah.
You know?
Right, yeah.
I don't know. I wished I'd stayed at school for physics instead of looking out the window.
Well, I appreciate your all's time. I won't keep any longer. I know it's late where Ness is at, but hopefully this gives everybody, some extra information, you know. And like I said, we're not here to solve a crime. We're just here to look at the elements, right? And to look at what I don't think somebody's telling us the actual truth. Fitbit, thanks to them for, I know they thought I was crazy the 2 times I was calling because they kept saying dead body. I mean, this guy, why does he want to know about a dead body?
Yeah, like a stunned mullet.
You know, because the guy was like stumbling, like, where's he going with this?
It's all right. The police didn't turn up on your doorstep, Chris. You're fine.
I'm dead.
I'm dead to
right.
this crazy. I'm dead.
But I wanted that audio to prove to people that I knew it was bull that they didn't do the test, because I know how those things operate. And it even says on their website, it goes by the capillaries underneath the skin. And they said the only way that the water would interfere with that it will not pick up. It will slow the heart rate or not even work. It will not replicate a heartbeat working at any time. It would interrupt it.
If like I had my daughters on one day, and it replicated the same. Like there was a gap, like a couple of seconds gap when we changed the watch over.
Right,
and then we looked at the reporting, and the graph and that, and you said it comes up like there's a blip on the graph. You can't tell if it's intentional or it's just one of those graphic blips. So if someone else had it on, it's possible.
But there's just a lot of things I don't think they looked at. Then once again, the water in the lungs. I don't think they tested that. From my understanding, I don't see any evidence of that. And I think that would answer a lot of questions as well.
Exactly.
So, and they didn't say how long the body was in the water.
Yep.
So,
that wasn't said at the inquest.
No.
Apart they were surmising that it was in the water for that full time.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm not convinced. I feel as from Kelly and Kath, and I've got yet to learn all your names. The lovely gentleman from Canada,
Craig.
He all said the same, that she was somewhere else for a certain length of time.
Really?
I'm
be it days or whatever before she was put into that water and she ingested it.
Right.
I'm interested in the time gap between the time the phone and the lead was actually put into the police station, from the time it was picked up off that bench or wherever it was picked up. Why a phone on a bench? Surely other people have gone past.
Well, my question is why didn't they dust it for fingerprints?
Yeah. There's something's not quite right about the lead. I keep getting the lead, and I'm wondering if the tracking device that I'm hypothetically assuming could have been on the lead. And then the lead and the phone are together and the watch is not.
But we do have a lot of things over here, GPS. People buy GPS to put on their dogs and their cats.
Yeah, exactly.
Tracking.
So they're
used a lot over here. So, you could have that quite right. And of course, it's not interesting information to say that Willow had a GPS tracker on.
And no one would check that. No one.
No.
But there's half an hour or to an hour of missing time that the lead and the phone were all by themselves in no man's land, which is that's suspicious to me.
Yeah.
It just
I totally agree.
Sorry, I interrupted again. Sorry.
No.
I just want to say thank you again. But
thank you.
Thanks,
y'all
everyone.
have a good night, and Ness have a good morning. Take care,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you,
All
guys. Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks, Kelly.
Bye.